What would this power do? It would attempt to change the very law of God. Notice what the Bible says in Daniel 7 verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. Can you think of any greater words against the Most High than claiming that it had the authority to change God's law, particularly the Sabbath? And the rest of that text reads, and think to change times and laws. This power would attempt to change the very law of God. This is obviously speaking about divine laws. It is not speaking about something insignificant like tax laws or political laws. Daniel 8 verse 12 tells us that this little horn power would cast truth down to the ground, and he did all this and prospered. So coming out of the old Roman Empire, a religious power would arise. It would be small at first, but it would become extremely powerful. It would claim that it had the authority to change the very law of God. Now, a very important question, my friend. How did the change from Sabbath to Sunday actually occur? What happened historically? The change of the Sabbath occurred gradually over a period of time, and it resulted in a variety of social and religious factors. Dr. John Eadie helps us to understand the roots of this change in his Bible Encyclopedia on page 561. And he says here, Sabbath, a Hebrew word signifying rest, and Sunday was a name given by the heathens to the first day of the week, because it was the day on which they worshipped the sun. Now, sun worship was common in Egypt, Babylon, Persia, and Rome. And when you come to the 4th century, the Roman Emperor Constantine had strong devotion to the worship of the sun, even putting the sun god on the coins he minted. He also had a very big problem. Rome was falling apart, and Constantine desired to unite his empire. Now, how could he do this? Constantine came up with what he thought was a brilliant idea. Why not unite the empire around Sunday worship? Now, my friend, here is the emperor's decree from AD 321, where he said, on the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and the people residing in cities rest, and let all the shops be closed. That is a statement from 321 after Christ. Constantine calls Sunday the venerable day of the sun. Now, venerable means revered, worshipped, honored, esteemed. He declares all workshops to be closed. All businesses must be closed. In an attempt to unite the empire, Constantine issued the first Sunday law. And in the days of Constantine, church and state united in an attempt to Christianize the pagans and unite the empire. Friend, did you hear that statement? I'm going to repeat it. In the days of Constantine, church and state united in an attempt to Christianize the pagans and unite the empire. The Roman government and the Roman church united. And here is an amazing statement that is really incredible. It comes from the Catholic World, page 809, March 1994. The sun was a foremost god with heathendom. There is in truth something royal, kingly about the sun, making it a fit emblem of Jesus, the Son of Justice. Hence the church in these countries would seem to have said, keep that old pagan name, it shall remain consecrated and sanctified, and thus the pagan Sunday dedicated to Balder became the Christian Sunday sacred to Jesus. Friend, do you see how it happened? Do you see how Sunday came into the church? Christians, to escape persecution, had for several hundred years been seeking to distinguish themselves from the Jews. Sunday gradually became emphasized because of Christ's resurrection, and gradually church leaders, to make the pagan sun worshippers more comfortable, started keeping Sunday in place of the Bible Sabbath. Constantine wanted to unite his empire, and the Roman church leaders wanted to convert the pagans. Sunday became the vehicle to accomplish both. So the biblical Sabbath was changed by the Roman Church and state. God didn't change the Sabbath. The disciples didn't change it. Jesus didn't change the Sabbath. The Catholic Church, Council of Laodicea, records the first prohibition of keeping the Bible Sabbath. The Roman Catholic bishops met there, and look what happened at the Council of Laodicea, that is in AD 325. The Christians shall not Judaize, that is, they shall not keep the Sabbath and be idle on Sunday. But the Lord's Day they shall especially honor, and as being Christians shall, if possible, do no work on that day. If, however, they are found Judaizing, they shall be shut out from Christ. So here is a church council that unites with the Roman government under Constantine and says we are shifting the authority of Sabbath to Sunday. This will unite the empire and distance us from the Jews. In so doing, however, they are unconsciously fulfilling Daniel's prophecy in verse 25, and shall think to change times and laws. Daniel 7:25 says that an earthly power growing up out of Rome would attempt to change God's laws. And God says, beware. Listen to the Convert's Catechism, a Roman Catholic instructional guide, correctly says regarding the change of the Sabbath. And this is very clear, my friend. The question was, which is the Sabbath day? The answer is Saturday is the Sabbath day. This is the Roman Catholics answering. Saturday is the Sabbath day. The question is, why do you observe Sunday instead of Sabbath? Because the Catholic Church transferred solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. Let's go to the Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 4, page 153. And there I read, the Church, after changing the day of rest from the Jewish Sabbath of the seventh day of the week to the first, made the third commandment refer to Sunday as the day to be kept holy as the Lord's day. So the Church made the third commandment refer to Sunday as the day to be kept as holy as the Lord's day. So the Catholic Encyclopedia states that the commandment regarding time had been changed by the Church. And by the way, some may have noticed that this statement refers to the third commandment, but the Sabbath is the fourth commandment. The Roman power of the Middle Ages also changed the law of God by removing the second commandment, the one prohibiting image worship. And the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet, was divided into two.